Welcome to Getting Real with Real Estate with Danielle Kempf and Jim Kempf, St. Louis's favorite father-daughter real estate team. Your source of real estate information in the greater St. Louis area.
All right.
Right.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
All right, here we go. Getting close to the end of the year.
All the holidays are coming up.
They are.
Have you done your Christmas shopping yet?
I have not.
Okay, there we go.
I have not.
Off
even
to a good
started.
start. Today we got a fun one. We got a fun podcast for everyone out there.
Yeah, we're doing our crystal ball check.
We are.
That's what I call
So
it.
if you tuned in this time last year, so end of the year 2023,
Right.
we did a 2024 market prediction.
That's right.
Where we dug out our crystal ball
Predicted
and
the
we
future.
predicted what this year was going to hold. So now we're going to go back and we got our notes from that last podcast.
Yep. We're going to check ourselves and
Yeah, and we're
see
going
how
to
good we
see
did.
what happened this year and if we were right about anything.
Because there were a lot of experts out there that talked about what was going to happen, and I think our crystal ball was probably just about as good as theirs, don't you think? I don't know. We're about to
Probably
find out.
about 50-50 if we were right and wrong.
All right.
I
Well,
think
we're
just
about
thinking about it.
We're about to find out.
We're going to find out, but first.
Before we do anything, we have to start with a joke.
With a joke.
Danielle, fire away.
All right. So before I got my real estate license, I used to be a fortune teller.
Is that
But
right?
all I could predict was really cold winters.
Cold winters.
Yeah.
Why
It
is that?
turns out the crystal ball shop had sold me a snow globe instead. But if you live here in St. Louis, Missouri, you know we get some cold winters. So we're not going to predict what this winter might be like. Read the Farmer's Almanac for that one.
Yeah, that'd probably be better than your snow globe.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
I think it's going to be cold this year.
That's a good joke. Yeah, I think it's going to be bitterly cold. It's just going to be my.
But hopefully the real estate market is hot.
The
for
real
next
estate market's
year.
going to heat up. We'll do a forecast show coming up. I think.
Probably
too.
the next one will be a
Yeah.
2025 market prediction.
All right.
But I guess first we got to
First-
dive on into what happened this year.
Let's figure it out. I think
Let's-
we're starting with what are we starting with? Interest rates.
Interest rates. So
Okay.
where
So-
were interest rates going to land?
Yeah, that was a big question
That was
last
a
year.
big
What
question.
what was our
Prediction?
what was our predictions that
Our
we
predictions were a little bit all over the place. From we thought they would end around 6 to 6.5 to
Yeah.
6.8.
6 to 6.5 to
6.8. So kind of a wide range.
Which one of us picked 6 and which one of us picked 6.8?
I think you said. Well, I don't know there. I
It
think you
doesn't
said
matter.
6.5. We'll call
I
that.
probably
That's the
did.
middle one.
Yeah, I
That's
probably
the
did.
middle. So we're predicting it. They
Just
ended
to
at
play it
6.5. So what did they
Well,
end at?
Yeah, so I got some information from the Federal Reserve, Federal Reserve
Economic data.
Economic data. Nice chart that I kind of pulled up here.
Such
You
a
can
fun
kinda see that.
website.
Yeah. But anyway, so they start, and I just went back, I think it went back like a year. So on 11/9 of 2023, interest rates were 7.5%. Okay. They got down as low as 6.08 in September 26th of 24. And this is the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage, okay, in the whole United States, not just St. Louis. So we all know what happened around September. That's when the Fed met and dropped the federal funds rate by a half point.
Yep.
And what did that do, folks?
It actually ticked up
That
interest
made
rates.
interest rates drive up to 6.79 on 11/7/2024. So they actually went up
They went up a little bit.
0.7 of a point, which is pretty significant.
But they're still down
They're still not bad, guys.
3/4 of a point from where we ended 2023.
Yeah. So that's the bright side of that
Mm-hmm.
equation. And then again, if you take this back historically, that even 8% is probably a kind of average, somewhere
Average.
between 7 and 8. So the rates aren't that bad, guys. So
No.
back to the old saying,
Date the rate,
date
marry
the
the
rate, marry the
house.
house. So yeah,
Yep.
so rates. So we did okay there.
We did okay. I'll
We
give
came
that a
in-
check on our box.
Yeah, I think I'm saying we hit that one pretty
We
close.
hit that one.
'Kay.
Okay. So the next question we had was, did the market crash this year? We heard a lot of that last year.
That's
so
what
did
everybody.
it?
That's what everybody said was going to happen. Oh my God, the market's going to tank.
The real estate market's going to crash.
It's a bubble. It's not a bubble. It wasn't a bubble. It didn't crash.
We're still here.
We're still here, and home prices have actually improved in the St. Louis market. So
Yeah.
we looked at the median sale price in the St. Louis Association area, which is really St. Louis City, County, and St. Charles. Okay, for 2023, the median sale price ended at $272,000. Okay, 2024 through the end of October, so we got 2 months to go, but it came in at $290. So that's, you got 10 months of data. It's not going to change much on either high or low, but what that tells us there, obviously, that the median sale price has improved a little bit, actually 6.6%, which was probably a little bit more than we would have anticipated, I think.
I would agree with you
Pretty
there.
much. I think we probably said it might go up, 3.5%, 4%?
3.5 to 4.
3.5 to 4%. So maybe a little light there, but, again, it could change slightly, but for the most part there, the
Home
market
prices continued
to
go up.
improve. We still face challenges inventory-wise and stuff. I think we'll talk about that. But yeah, folks. So the market did not crash. Your homes are worth more than they were a year ago.
Well, here in the St. Louis area, they did not crash. We'll say that. Because so Realtor.com predicted, this was back in 2023, a 1.7% drop nationally in existing home median price appreciation.
Right. So Midwest fared a little better.
Yeah.
So that's the message there.
That's the message
and
there.
There's not going to be a crash.
Yeah, and
I'm going out on a limb again. I said it last year. I'm saying it again this year. You're not going to see a crash.
no, I would tend to agree with you there. But we've talked, I think, in past podcasts where the average appreciation year over year should be between 2 and 4%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's still
4 might even be a little on the high side, but you're right. Yeah, 2 to 3 is I think kind of typical. So
homes are still appreciating well above what they should. You're not going to see that 10+% appreciation like we saw 2020 to 21, maybe even to 22. And that's okay. We're just getting back to normal right now.
That's correct. Yep. You really don't want to see that.
No.
I mean, it's great for your balance sheet, folks, but it's not something that you necessarily want to see.
No.
Okay.
So with prices going up this year.
So we did good there, I think.
We did good there.
Yeah. We fought off the market crash.
We fought off the market crash.
You're
and
all
homes
welcome.
are still selling. So tell us, let me first go through what we predicted for the sales forecast for 2024.
Yep.
So we got a bunch of different numbers. You had predicted 4.8 million sales.
Okay.
I predicted 5.2 million sales.
Ooh, you were aggressive.
And the National Association of Realtors predicted 5.5 million sales.
So who was the closest?
They were the most aggressive.
So let's see what happened.
Yeah.
So the full year of 2023. Okay, I kind of have to go back to that a little bit because this year is really going to end up with pretty much the same as last year.
Yeah.
So 2023, there were approximately between existing home sales and new home sales 4.75 million. Okay, that ended 23. 2024 is going to come in essentially. It's tracking right at that same level. So it's not going to be really significantly different at all. So I'm going to round that up just a little bit and call that 4.8 million. So what did I guess?
4.8 million.
Wow, how about that?
Checking Jim's box.
Check one for me. That if you kind of look back, just in the kind of recent history, right? Let's just say pre-COVID, those numbers were more like 6 to 6.1 million.
Yeah.
For 2017 through 2019. So definitely, the market is down in volume, right?
Yeah.
For 24, 23 was the same way. And again, I'm not sure if I mentioned this on the last podcast. Probably not. This is, I think, something new that we just learned. But the 2024's sales volume is going to come in pretty close to the lowest that it has been since 1995.
Wow.
So that goes back a ways.
I think that's
when me and your mom bought our very first house was 1995, somewhere right around there. So good on the prediction.
Good on the prediction.
The volume we wish was a little higher, but it is what it is.
Is what it is.
So, and it's do we want to talk about volume in the St. Louis market?
Let's talk about that.
We didn't really predict that, but
no, we didn't really predict that, but we got some numbers on it.
Yeah, and it just really correlates almost identically to the national numbers that we just mentioned. So in 2023, in the St. Louis Association area, again, we had 22,313 sales. Okay, and this year through October, we're at 18,511. So if you just track that out to a 12-month, you got 22,225. So
Right at the
almost
same.
right on the same number. So again, that kind of correlates exactly with what happened nationally. Here in St. Louis, our numbers are down a little bit. I didn't look back to see what they, like pre-COVID numbers were for St. Louis, but significantly
okay.
higher. We know that for
Yeah,
sure.
we know that they were higher.
So, yeah.
So then,
Okay.
All
So, yeah.
let's talk next about affordability. Is it getting any easier for the home buyers out there to buy a home?
Well, there's still a challenge on inventory,
Yeah.
right? Am I jumping around if we
you're
talk
good.
about that first?
Go for it.
Because it kind of leads in, I think, a little
Yeah.
bit. So inventory came up a little bit. Actually, if you look at October 23 through October 24, there was a 14% increase in the St. Louis market.
Wow.
So we went from, let's just call it 3,500 units to right at about 4,000, units. So, that's a pretty nice little increase there, about 14%. The flip side of that, or the downside of that, is that, pre-COVID, we were looking at numbers around 6,000, right,
Yes.
inventory. So inventory is still a challenge. It'll probably remain a challenge into the new year, I would imagine. But that makes it a little tougher on buyers, I think, and that's part of the reason the numbers are down a little bit. We do still see some competition, but then again, we also see the days supply is kind of getting a little bit longer because there are, what would you want to call it, some houses that are just
Sitting long.
they're sitting, and some of them maybe got a little too aggressive on their pricing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Or
COVID, I don't know if still some sellers have the idea of like COVID times in their head where my neighbor sold for X, so I can go above X and
Right, and get it
then just
every
get
time.
it.
Yeah.
Sellers really can't push the market unless they have, just the top of the line house, location, all the amenities.
Yeah.
Then they can push the price. But if
Yeah, I
you're
would
just
agree.
an average house trying to push the price, maybe expect sitting a little bit longer.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's a challenging time to. I mean, even as a seller, you do got to be careful. I think so. That's we try to caution our sellers there from thinking that the market's better than maybe it is.
Yeah.
I guess maybe might be the message
But it's
there.
still a good time to sell. It's always
Yeah.
a good time to sell.
Yeah. So, what other predictions did we have there? Are we? You talked about affordability.
Yep, affordability we talked about a little bit.
Let's talk about that now. Was there any?
So let me see here.
It's kind of.
So October 2023, Realtor.com noted that this is national, and we don't really have the numbers. We didn't write those down. But of an average, nationally average priced home, an average family with an average income can expect to pay 39% of their income go to their mortgage.
That's steep.
That is steep.
That's
Historically average, it's closer to that 21%. So it is up quite a bit. More of your income's just going to pay the mortgage. But let's
Yeah.
see what
That's
numbers you have.
So that's gotten a little bit better. So again, this is information from the National Association of Realtors, but the Quarterly Housing Affordability Index. So 2023, the fourth quarter, the payment as a percent of income. Well, first of all, the interest rate averaged around 7.37 during that time period, and the payment as a percent of income was 26.5%. So definitely better than the 39% that was reported there.
And again, that's nationally, that 39%.
Yeah,
So that's
this is
more, I
as
think,
well.
the coast.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nationally too?
This is as well. So I think it's improved a little bit it kind of got a little better at the end of 23 than that number. But 2024, the projection for the end of the third quarter, which these numbers, the fourth quarter's not out yet. So mortgage rate of 6.59, so that's come down nicely, about 0.8%. And the payment as a percent of income, 25.2. So that's actually a, it's going in the right
closer.
direction, I guess, is what I would just say. It's getting better for folks, affordability, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
In the Midwest, we're actually a little bit luckier in that the payment as a percent of income for the Midwest region is 18.4. So
Wow.
yeah, so just a much better situation here in the Midwest. Of course, housing prices are a little bit lower average, and stuff in this area, so it's going to be more affordable. But 18.4%, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
And the affordability index, which is basically it's a measure of, again, it's that percent of your percent of your income to afford that mortgage. 100 is where you have exactly enough income to pay your mortgage. Okay, that's not a good place
you don't want
to
to be house broke.
But a year ago it was 122.2, and this month it was 135.6. So that's gotten a little bit better.
Yeah.
So
So you want a higher number on that one.
You want a higher number on that affordability index, and we're seeing a good trend there. So a month ago it was 126, now it's 135. So that's a positive sign for home buyers. We still hope rates come down a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some predictions, I guess, in another podcast.
Yep, our next podcast we're going to do our 2025 market prediction. So,
so stay
getting ready
tuned
for the
that
new
one.
year already.
You'll be on the edge of your seat for that one, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Will the market crash again?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say no. That just a little precursor to our next podcast. Is there any other areas there that we were kind of predicting that we need to go over?
No, I think we hit a lot of it.
Okay.
I think we hit it all. We'll just
Awesome.
come back We'll come back for the 2025 prediction.
We'll have some.
And we'll pull out that crystal ball and
Yeah, we'll shake that
See
snow
what
globe
we
and see
did.
what we can predict for this coming year for 2025. I think it's going to be a better year.
I think it's gonna be a better year. But
It'll be interesting.
it was a slow year, but it wasn't a bad year this year.
No, going back, we talked a little bit about this just privately, but the election I think put some people on the sidelines. That's over now, so
Yeah.
people move forward, and off we go into 2025 here shortly.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed our recap of our predictions. I guess our crystal ball is not any better than
It's
anybody
not
else's,
any better
really.
than anybody else's, but it was fun to see. You did better, I think, than I. Well, maybe we'll call it 50-50.
It was fun.
It was fun.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Thanks.
You've been listening to Getting Real with Real Estate with the Kempf team. Have questions about real estate or something you'd like to discuss? Contact the Kempf team at 314-336-1926 or visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Kempf team. Don't want to miss any episodes? Follow us on your favorite podcast app or YouTube. The Kempf team. Real, honest real estate.